Hey, everybody, and welcome back. So, people have started to see the brand new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and let's see the out of the theater reaction from Film Threat.
Well, Alan, we just got out of Spider-Man
Alan looks pretty excited. He's got his web shooters going.
Brand New Day. And let me start with that this has the best action ever I've seen on film for Spider-Man.
Wow, that's bold. I like that. That is a good way to start. I'm assuming he's going to do the compliment sandwich, meaning he's going to say something nice and then he's going to say something critical, and then he'll finish it off with something nice as well. But that is a darn good start.
Best action, feels ripped from the comics. Love the action aspect.
Even some first-person perspective.
Yeah,
Oh wow! All right, so action from the comics, a first-person perspective. That sounds promising. It sounds like whoever they got to choreograph everything really took a lot into account.
yeah, like inspired by the video games. So the action, bar none, best we've ever.
All right, that's awesome. Inspired by the video games. I don't know if you remember it or not, but the scene where Ben Affleck saves Martha in Batman v Superman, that felt straight out of Arkham. If you played those games were amazing. They are, I would say, they still hold up even now as some of the best Batman games that were ever made. And if they've incorporated that type of action into Spider-Man Brand New Day, that's going to be a sight to behold, because that scene is great. It might be the best scene in all of Superman Batman, in my opinion.
Ever seen in a Spider-Man movie. But there's major problems.
But there's major problems. So I was right. He started with something good, and now we're getting into the what might not be good.
For one, and there'll be no spoilers, it's like there's two movies. There's a movie that goes, that ends, and then there's more movie, like a complete other movie.
All right, so it sounds like maybe you have like the main plot, what we've been seeing with the person who, I don't know what villain it is, but they are trying to catch the person who can talk to Spider-Man through all the different people, and maybe they catch that person, but as they catch that person, that leads to another, some other leaf turning over, and now we've got a new plot afoot, or we've got something else we have to put a bow on, or maybe it's has something to do with MJ and Ned and them figuring out who he is and somehow remembering
A different movie. And I just, after a while, I thought, can we just focus on Spider-Man? Way too many side characters that help Spider-Man, including like a cop that he talks to almost constantly that leads him along, almost like a ghost sidekick, and they talk.
I wonder if, there's been a lot of people who have wanted Spider-Man by himself, because that's part of Spider-Man, right? It's him in New York struggling to make it, being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and there's nobody else there. So maybe they thought it was going to be just too much of him on his own, so they tried to bring other people into it. I've seen from the previews, obviously the Punisher's in there, Scorpion shows up, I've heard Tombstone's in it. For how long, who knows? But it sounds like there's a lot, and like he said, a lot of side things, maybe side quests for Spider-Man, if you will. And it could also be they're trying to get us ready for Doomsday, and that Doomsday is going to have a million characters and probably a million side plots. And based on what I'm hearing, people aren't even going to be able to like introduce themselves before worlds start exploding. So who knows? Maybe they're just trying to prepare us for December.
Talk on the phone a lot. that got kind of boring quick for me. So, um, while it's got great action, major story problems that turn me off, and a weird second half of a film. Alan, what do you think?
So, story problems, weird second half of a film, but they like the action. So that's, I don't know. I'm still, sounds like it's probably mid, maybe but enjoyable. So maybe it's like a 3 out of 5. You know, if you're doing the 5-star rating, I could see it land in there.
Well, I kind of liked it, but I feel like I need to see it a second time in order to get my thoughts together. Um, I'll say this: it's true. There are two movies here, and I think
All right, so we've got confirmation that there's two separate movies, or a movie within a movie, if you will.
for the most part, I enjoyed the movie. I had fun, but there's a part where that something happens, something is revealed, and that's where the second movie comes in.
I wonder if this is like an M. Night Shyamalan twist, but not quite as, shocking. It's a subtle thing, but instead of ending the movie on that, a la Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, The Village, list goes on, right? Maybe it opens up, like I said, turns over a new leaf, starts a new chapter, and I guess in theory, if that's really how they did it, maybe they should have split it up into two different movies. Maybe they didn't have enough, time to do it, and they didn't want to split it up into two different movies. But it sounds like it could have very easily have been, like the whatever this reveal is, that's the cliffhanger for the next one, if they were going that route.
And it literally slows the entire movie down. It's like you've got this momentum going, and something happens where you feel like, okay, maybe it's coming to a conclusion, and then it goes on.
That doesn't make me happy. When a movie's got good pacing, and you're ready for the next thing, and you're ready for the next thing, if they hit a wall and it just, you know, stops all momentum, or even if it just breaks the cadence, you know what I mean? Like if you're, I don't know, think about it as if you were like listening to a song and it's going at a pretty good pace, and then all of a sudden it just stops. Now, sometimes that can be great. Other times, so it sounds like this might be a not so much.
On and on, and you know, I think in my mind I had to say I really like this movie, but when it slows down and when it goes, I have to basically say I can forgive it and then continue to like the movie.
All right, it sounds like it's you can stomach it. It's not a total deal breaker, and you still enjoy the movie, so that's positive.
I think one thing people will point out is there's a lot of emotion in this movie.
I can see that, especially with trying to figure out how to tell his friends who he is and that they know him, and then also that No Way Home, I rewatched that recently, and that movie is sad at the end. I mean, it is just like I got a little choked up because it's just it kind of pulls at your heartstrings a little. um yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like that for most of the Marvel stuff. Like, of course, at the end of Endgame, obviously that was emotional, but I feel like, I don't know, maybe they're leaning in more to the emotions, and trying to get you to feel things again.
You know, you see it in the trailer. This is about Spider-Man on his own, basically the hero with no friends, and that's a big major theme of the first movie. And I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the way it played out. I liked the way it resolved itself. But then again, it just kind of the momentum just slows at the second movie. And
I'm wondering if he was talking about the first part with the loneliness, if they delve into that. But there's definitely a point in the trailer where he shows up to MJ and says, "You got to come with me. You got to trust me." And she's like, "Okay." And I wonder if at that point, that's when this like second movie happens, because it gets revealed that, hey, you used to know Peter, and everything that goes along with that. So that could be. We'll find out.
And kind of picks up at the end as a superhero movie should, but it never really captures that energy you got. So I'm going to say overall recommendation, but not a perfect movie, and you know there's a serious flaw in the middle of the movie.
All right, so serious flaw in the middle of the movie. That's interesting. And I mean, what movie is perfect? I don't remember the last time I saw a perfect movie. I just hope it's enjoyable. I want to go. I want to check it out. I want to have a good time. It sounds like the action is good. I've heard that the chemistry between the Punisher and Spider-Man is also good, kind of like a buddy type movie or situation. So I think that bodes well too.
Spider-Man and the too many side quests. That's what I would retitle it.
But think of it as achievement points.
So it sounds like the video game a little bit, because there are tons of side quests in the video game that you don't have to do, but the more you do, the more powerful Spider-Man gets and the more cool moves and suits you get. So I wonder how much they took inspiration from the Sony games, which were done very well.
Achievement goals.
Like a video game. Anyways,
There you go.
there are other problems, but you'd be getting into spoilers, and we're not going to do that because we're getting kicked out of here. So, Alan, what do you got to say?
Let's get out of here.
All right, so there you have it. It sounds like it's a good movie. It sounds like it's, like I said earlier, maybe a 3 out of 5. They've got some concerns, but at the same time, they seem to have things that they like about it. And I don't know, I'm interested to see what this whole second plot is. I don't know what they're talking about, obviously, but it sounds at least intriguing, and I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense once we all see the movie. So, do you have your tickets yet? Are you seeing it tomorrow night or Thursday night, or are you waiting until Friday? When are you seeing Spider-Man Brand New Day? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, and I will see you all on the next one.